نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respected and dear viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This program is presented by Adult Quranic Education Program, and in continuation of this Quranic Understanding Program, today we shall try to read few more verses from chapter number 2, Al-Baqarah. And we start from verse number 75. Please hold a copy of Quran in your hands, plain without translation. Verse number 75. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. أفتطمعون, can you entertain أن يؤمن لكم, that these such people will believe in you? وقد كان فريق منهم, well, there has been a group amongst them, يسمعون كلام الله, who used to listen and hear the word of Allah, word of God, ثم يحرفونه, then pervert it or distort it. من بعد ما عقلوه, even after understanding it, وهم يعلمون, and they used to do it knowingly. وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا, their habit is that whenever they meet the believers, قالوا, they say, آمنا, we too believe. وإذا خلا بعضهم إلى بعض, when they are alone with each other, قالوا, they tell each other, أتحدثونه, do you talk to these Muslims, believers, about bima fatahullahu alaykum, which Allah has revealed to you, made open, clear to you, liyuhajukum bihi inda rabbikum, so that they use it as an argument against you in the court of God. Afala ta'qilun, don't you understand it? But Quran says, awala ya'lamun, don't they know, anna Allah ya'lam, that verily Allah knows, ma yusirruna, whatever they conceal, wa ma yulinun, and that too, what they reveal. وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ, among them are unlettered or illiterate people, لَا يَعْلَمُونَ الْكِتَابَ, who have no knowledge of the book, إِلَّا أَمَانِيَ, except their wishful thinkings. وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظُنُّونَ, they only assume things. فَوَيْلُ لِلَّذِينَ, so woe to those people, يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, who write a book by their own hands. ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ, and then say, هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, that this is from God, this is from Allah. لِيَشْتَرُوا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, to obtain a small worldly price for it. فَوَيْلُ لَهُمْ, so woe to them, مِمَّا كَتَبَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ, for that what they write with their own hands. وَوَيْلُ لَهُمْ, and woe to them for that too, مِمَّا يَكْسِبُونَ, of what they earn out of it. وَقَالُوا, and they say, these Jews say, لَن تَمَسَّنَا النَّارِ, fire of hell shall never touch us, إِلَّا أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَةً, except for a few numbered days. Kul, O Messenger of God, Muhammad, peace be upon you, ask them, أَتَخَذْتُمْ إِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَهْدًا, have you taken a promise from Allah regarding this? فَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ عَهْدَهُ, and Allah doesn't break His promise. أَمْ تَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ, or you say about Allah, مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, what you know not, what about which you have no knowledge. Bala, nay, man kasaba sayyah, whoever earns the sin, wa ahatat bihi khati'atuhu, and his sins engulf him. Fa ulaika ashabun nar, such people are the dwellers of fire, hum fiha khalidun, wherein they shall abide. Walladina amanu, while as those people who believe, wa amilu salihat, and do good deeds. Ulaika ashabul jannah, they are the dwellers of garden, whom fiha khalidun, wherein they shall abide. Sadaqallahu Azim. Now about the verses which are under study today. Why to remember? Just a hint which you already know, that these verses, this chapter was revealed in Medina, and where Jews, there were some Jewish communities or tribes, and they were also invited to the faith of Islam by Prophet, peace be upon him, and his worthy companions. But to their shock and to their surprise, these Jews point blank refused the message of Islam, except of course few of them, except few of them. And then Quran related the historical record before them, explained, see, O Jews, you are rejecting prophethood of Muhammad, peace be upon him, today. You are rejecting the revelation, the final revelation, last testament, that's Quran, which is being revealed to Prophet, peace be upon him, and through him it is being delivered to you. You are rejecting it. Okay, no problem, it's your sweet will. If you accept it, it is for your betterment. If you reject it, it is for your own destruction and detriment. But there, as we have been studying for quite some time, for many, many weeks altogether, the Jews are certain pages of their own history are repeated. See what you did with your own prophets, how you killed many of the prophets, how you threw out many of the prophets from your cities and dwellings, and what was your behavior to your greatest prophet, whom you believe as the greatest prophet, that's Moses. What he did, how you never followed him in letter separate. When he ordered anything, you tried to make lame excuses. Explaining all these stories which we have been reading for quite some time. Now that's today's verse number, starting from verse number 75. Now this verse is addressed to believers of Medina. That's Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a leader, and his worthy companions. That see, O believers, now you have seen their history. These things were not known to you. These were not known to even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, until revelations made everything known to him, and through him, all the believers. Now you know what has been the way of living of these Jews throughout history. In other words, it is said, if they are, O believers, O Muslims of present time, if they are rejecting your message, they are rejecting your prophet and the message or Quran, why should you get surprised? Do you entertain that they will believe in you? Do you covet that they will believe in you? Didn't you see their history, what they have been doing with their own prophets and with their revelations? It has been a habit with them. They have been doing it. Now you can understand. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised by their rejection of your faith. They have been doing it throughout history. That's what it means. O believers, O Muslims of Medina, can you entertain the idea that they will believe in you? Do you covet that they will believe in you? See what we have seen now, what they have done in history. Not only that, وَقَدْ كَانَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ. There has been always a group amongst them, these children of Israel. Number one, they have been rejecting prophets, their message, and indulging all immoralities. Not only that, وَقَدْ كَانَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ. There has been a group amongst them, يَسْمَعُونَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ, who heard the word of Allah. ثُمَّ يُحَرِّفُونَهُ, then use it, distort it, pervert it. This has been their habit throughout history. This has been their habit with their own revelations, the revelations in which they believe. O Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, if they are now rejecting your prophethood, your Quran and your revelations, you should not feel sorry. You should not feel sorry for them. You should not be shocked or sorrowful. It has been their habit. أَفَتَطْمَعُونَ أَن يُؤْمِنَ لَكُمْ, O believers of Medina, can you entertain the idea that they are going to believe in you? وَقَدْ كَانَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ, where there has been a group amongst them, يَسْمَعُونَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ, who used to hear, or still are there. They were there and they are still there. You hear the message of Allah or word of Allah, ثُمَّ يُحَرِّفُونَهُ, then distort it or pervert it, change it. مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا أَكَلُهُ, even after understanding it. It was not out of ignorance. They did have possessed knowledge. No, after they understood it, after due understanding. وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ, and they did it knowingly. They haven't doing it knowingly. Do you think that they are going to believe in you when there has been such practice with them throughout history? Now, see their way of life. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, when these Jews of Medina, when they meet the believers, قَالُوا آمَنَّا, they tell them, we believe. We also believe, because among the Jews, they are a group of hypocrites. And these were in fact, these hypocrites were in fact moles, what we call in modern security language, moles, who were planted by Jews. They were asked, okay, go to Muslim, go to Prophet, go to Muhammad, peace upon him, and declare your faith with your tongues. But don't accept faith from your hearts. You have to perform or fulfill a specific agenda for us. And these were hypocrites. This group also arose from among Jews also. That group is mentioned here. When they meet the believers, they say, we too believe. But when they are alone with each other, that means when they used to assemble somewhere alone, only Jews talking to each other, they used to tell each other, are you telling these believers, that's Muslims, bima fatallahu alaykum, which Allah has made known to you only, so that they may use it as an argument against you on the day of judgment in the court of Allah. Don't you understand it? That is what sometimes Muslims sitting with these Jews who are hypocrites, who used to tell them we believe, and then in the hearts of hearts they were not believers. The Muslims would sometimes ask them, or even polytheists, they used to ask them, you used to tell us in the past that a prophet is going to come. And now if this person, Muhammad, peace upon him, has claimed prophethood, and you used to tell us even the signs of that prophet, what kind of person he will be, how he will deliver the message, and what will be his overall teachings. And we feel that this fit on this prophet, Muhammad, peace upon him. They used to ask these Jews. They would be rendered speechless. And sometimes when they would ask these Jews, tell us about the signs of the prophet, what kind of prophet, they used to tell them in the light of knowledge of Torah they had. And with this, sometimes some people would get impressed and they would enter the fold of Islam. Now when they would be alone, these Jews with this, they would tell each other, why are you telling these things? Maybe because Jews also have this faith in life hereafter. They also believe, like we Muslims believe, life after death, and then punishment and reward on the day of judgment. They also believe, of course in a distorted manner, but they do believe. And they would tell each other, why are you telling these Muslims those things which have been made known to you through your books? Maybe they use this tomorrow on the day of judgment as an argument against you in the court of God. Don't you understand? You should not do this. But Quran says, are they trying to cheat Muslims? Are they trying to cheat Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him? Or they are going to cheat or deceive Allah? Don't they know? Don't they know? That surely Allah knows what they conceal or what they hide. And Allah knows that too, what they reveal. That means He knows their ins and outs. He knows what they say before Muslim believers, and He also knows what they discuss with their own self, with their own people. Allah knows everything. How can they conceal anything from Him? Then Quran says, because among Jews, there were some knowledgeable people that were the elite class. They were the real enemies of faith. They changed the text of their books, as we know now. We know today have Torah, what we call Pentateuch, that is 5 books. They call 5 books to be the Torah, the first 5 books of Old Testament. They said that's Book of Genesis, Book of Exodus, Book of Leviticus, Book of Numbers, and then Book of Deuteronomy. All 5 books put together, they call this Torah, what we call Torah. But that's not true. Torah was based, in fact, on the revelation received with Moses. These people, that means Jews, so-called scholars, their leaders, what they did, they changed the text of their books, the revealed books, that's especially Torah. They changed it just to make them according to their own wishes and their own desires. What are they like, they kept there, and what they didn't, they threw away from. And not only that, they inserted their own words or their own passage in their books. This was about those people who were those people who possess knowledge among the Jews. But common men, they didn't have knowledge. And these common men were exploited by the so-called knowledgeable people, as is happening even now among Muslims. So-called knowledgeable people exploiting the common people, trying to mislead them. It has happened in Jews, and now unfortunately happening to us too. So Quran says, وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ, amongst them, O believers, let it be known to you, among them are some unlettered or ignorant people or illiterate people. لَا يَعْلَمُونَ الْكِتَابَ, they don't have any knowledge of the book. إِلَّا أَمَانِيَ, except their own wishes or their wishful thinking, or except their desires. وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظُنُّونَ, they only they assume things. They make conjectures. They don't have knowledge, common people. They don't have knowledge. They are unlettered, they are illiterates. They have no knowledge. They go by just desires. That paradise hasn't created for us. Prophets and our leaders will deliver us, they'll save us on the day of judgment. We need not to do anything. We'll be saved. We are the chosen ones. These were the beliefs which were imbibed in the blood of common people. They didn't have any knowledge. These were only their wish. This was only their wishful thinking. Their desires based on assumptions and conjectures. That's how common Jews are being explained here, their condition. But on the other hand, there were some people, of course, a minority people who were among them learned. But that too learned people were worse than the common. What was their, see, the Quran explains their condition too. Therefore, فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ, so woe to those people, يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, who write a book with their own hands. ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, then tell others that this is from God. And this was practice of so-called learned people of Jews. They used to change passage sentences from their books and insert their own. And presenting that thing before common men who would feel that everything they speak, these are words of God. These are from the revealed books. Whereas what was there? It was their sentences, not based on revelations, but writings of their so-called scholars and so-called learned men. It's about these people. So they were both, whether they were learned people, they too were dangerous people who changed the text of their books, inserted their own sentences and instructions, deleted what from divine revelations, what didn't suit them. Quran says, فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ, so woe to those people, يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, who write the book with their hands. ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, then tell others that this is from God, this is from Allah. لِيَشْتَرُوا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, just to obtain a small worldly price for it. Why they used to do it? They inserted some sentences which suited their own desires. Because they had made their faith and religion as a commercial transaction. As is being done now, even today, unfortunately, among some Muslims also. Some places of worship are being used to just earning and maintain a status for themselves and exploiting common masses. In fact, we were warned through these words and these verses and sentences that, oh Muslims, you should not follow footsteps of Jews. They did that and they got destroyed. And if you do the same, no power on earth can save you from its consequences. So it was their habit. Quran says, فَوَيْلُ لِلَّذِينَ, so woe to those people, يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, who write the books with their own hands. ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, then say or tell others that it is from God. Why do they do it? لِيَشْتَرُوا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, to obtain a small price. Small price means any worldly gain, even if it is worth millions and billions. In the sight of Quran, it's a small price. Any price obtained in this world at the cost of the life hereafter, by which you destroy your next life. Even if the worldly price may be big and big, that's a small price. That is nothing in comparison to the life hereafter. Quran says, فَوَيْلٌ لَهُمْ, So woe to them, mimma katabat aydihim, for what they write with their hands. Woe to them, and it will be a source of distraction for them, the words what they write with their own hands. Wa wailul lahum mimma yaksibun, and source of distraction for them will be that what they earn out of it. They feel that by distorting or changing the words of God, we are going to earn our wealth, maintain our status, and develop great position for ourselves. We are the gainers. Unfortunately, they are not. It's going to be a source of destruction for them. Woe to them for what they write with their hands, and a source of destruction for them is what they earn out of it. Then Quran says, when Jews of Medina were invited, as I told you time and again, by beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, their well-wisher, to accept the faith of Islam and save themselves from the ultimate destruction in the life hereafter. That's fire of hell. What was Jewish response to that? That's explained in this verse number 80. When Jews were invited, they would say, why should we adopt your faith? Prophet, peace be upon him, and his worthy companions would tell them, because we are inviting you to the path of Allah, path of God, to his final revelation, and to his final guide, that is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You follow this, you will be saved on the day of judgment from fire of hell, from total annihilation and destruction and humiliation. You will be saved. What was Jewish response? Out of arrogance, out of ignorance, not they were well aware about it, but out of arrogance and hatred against Prophet and Muslims, they would say, what they would say, lan tamassana nar. What are you? You are getting us frightened by the hell of fire. Lan tamassana nar. Fire of hell is not going to even touch us. Illa ayyama maduda. Except for a few number of days. That means even if we do anything, since we express our affiliation with previous prophets, that can save us from the hellfire. Fire of hell is not going to even touch us. But even if we do any bad deeds and which make us liable for punishment, it will be just for few number of days. Ultimately, a seat is reserved for us in the gardens of paradise. This they would do, as Quran said in previous verse. Minhum ummiyuna la ya'lamun al-kitab. Among them are illiterates and unlettered people who have no knowledge, illa amani, except their wishful thinking. Wa inhum illa yazunnun. They will only assume things and base their faith on their assertion only on conjectures. This is what they used to say. They used to say, whatever we do, nobody can punish us. Even if we do any kind of great bad deeds, when they were condemned for their taking usury, for their immoral practices, for their bad behavior, for their hatred and unjust attitude, they would say, lan tamassana nar. Fire of hell is not going to even touch us. Illa ayyama maduda. Even if that is going to happen, that will be just for a few number of days. Otherwise, our seat is well reserved in gardens of paradise. Quran says, Kul, O messenger, if they are responding by saying these things, Kul, ask them, Atakhastum indallahi ahada? Have you taken any such promise from Allah? Falan yuklifallahu ahada. Because Allah doesn't break his promise. Show me. If Allah has promised you that whatever you do, right or wrong, good or bad, halal or haram, and even if you indulge in any immorality and bad deeds, that you will be still saved. Fire of hell cannot even touch you. If there is a promise, O messenger, ask them. Ask them. Atakastum indallahi ahada. Have you taken any such promise and any such license from Allah? That whatever you do, you'll never be punished. You will be still chosen ones, the favorites of God. And you are already reservations kept in your gardens of paradise. If there is anything, you show us. Falan yuklifallahu, which Allah promises, which it doesn't break. Am taquluna alallahi ma la ta'lamun. Or you are saying about Allah or about God, about which you have no knowledge. These are only assumptions. These are only conjectures. These are only desires and only your wishful thinking which makes you to say this. Otherwise, you cannot prove it. You have no knowledge about it. You cannot show any passage from your books that whatever you do, still you are the favorites and best ones. The Quran says, Bala, nay, man kasaba said, the fact is, man kasaba sayyah, who earns a sin, wa ahatat bihi khati'atu, and who is encompassed or engulfed, encircled by his sins. That means we indulge in sins, one sin after the other. فَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. Who can save them from the hellfire? They are the dwellers of fire, dwellers of hell. Whom فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, wherein they shall abide. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Yes, on the other hand, those people who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and do righteous good deeds. Like Ashabul Jannah. They deserve to be, and they are in fact, the companions or dwellers of garden, that will guard the paradise. Whom fiya khalidun, wherein they shall abide. Not your wishful thinking, not your assumptions and conjectures which can save you, but only faith and good deeds, which you are, O Jews of Medina, which you are rejecting now. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم والحمد لله رب العالمين.